Hello, thank you TedX Princeton for selecting me to the list of finalists. I'm here to talk about healthcare system. It's not a secret that our healthcare system is broken, highly fragmented, over-medicalized. But I want to talk about one particular aspect of it, the crisis of polypharmacy. Polypharmacy is defined as same patient taking at least 5 medications or more. There's also a concept of hyperpolypharmacy, taking 10 pills or more. 30 years ago, this was non-existent conditions. Back in the day, before this century, there were less than 5% of patients of any age who were taking more than 5 medications, 5 or more. Now it's 40%, 42 to be exact, as of 2025, and almost 10% taking more than 10 medications. So this leads to the medications as of 2025 being a third cause of death, 3 million serious side effects a year, 250,000 annual deaths, and that's not something you may have ever heard. In fact, those of you who are screening this video to decide if I should join the TEDx probably never heard the statistics. And it's not a surprise to me because this is not a comfortable truth. This is the truth that no one wants to hear. If we hear this truth, we should be asking at every level of healthcare system, well, there has to be a better way. I mean, if we killing 250,000 Americans, putting the medications just behind cardiovascular disease and cancer, there has to be a better way, and there is. And it's been in existence for a long time. We call it integrative medicine. I'm Dr. Mikhail Kogan, Associate Professor of Medicine at George Washington University, Chief Medical Officer at the GW Center for Integrative Medicine, geriatrician, researcher, and educator. In 2017, Oxford University Press published my book, Integrative Geriatrics. And this put me in the leading voices of American healthcare system and academic American healthcare system to say, how can we take care of older adults better without more and more pills? You should be asking a good question. Well, if it's such a big problem, but this problem almost exclusively hits patients over 65, and I'm 25, college student at Princeton, and listening to this, well, what has this to do with me? Well, true. As of today, this doesn't necessarily apply to you because you may be completely healthy and not a single medical problem. But guess what? The trajectory of this problem is basically astronomically increasing. It's not a linear increase. As I said, 30 years ago, this was non-existent problem. If we don't change this course, and you're in mid-20s now, by the time you reach age of 75, 50 years from now, you're going to have 1 in 3 chance of dying from medications, unless we change the trajectory. I decided to apply for TEDx only for one reason. I started feeling that my voice in academia is not heard enough. I have a small YouTube channel, mostly for my patients because I like to record small presentations on different healthcare topics and then leave them there in case for the references. So if somebody comes to see me, I often give them a link to something. And I think that we have to start telling the general public, in order for us to avoid this crisis, we have to take health into our own hands. We have to start questioning every medication. We have to learn what non-medication methods are there and that are evidence-based. I'm going to give an example of Larry. Larry is now in his early 80s. He came to see me about 10 years ago when he developed knee pain. He developed knee arthritis just like a lot of people in their 70s would, and he didn't tell his wife, he didn't tell his doctor, he just started taking ibuprofen. A couple ibuprofens a day here and there, not every day. But 6 months forward, he started developing the stomach pain. Then he started noticing his legs swell up and his blood pressure was going up. So he went to his doctor, realizing that he was no longer able to self-manage this. So the doctors say, oh, yeah, you have high blood pressure, hypertension, you have edema, swelling in the legs, and you have acid reflux. They looked in his stomach and he had gastritis. By the way, these are all side effects of Motrin, ibuprofen. So the doctor gave him 3 pills. The pill for blood pressure, pill for edema, pill for stomach. The pill for edema, the diuretic, the water pill, caused magnesium to get washed off of his body, and then he developed two other problems. He developed sleep problems and he developed constipation. So magnesium is critical for regulating those things. And that was the time his wife said, come on, this is crazy. A year ago, you were running half marathon in under 3 hours. Now you can barely walk a couple of blocks without getting short of breath and tired. And you're taking 6 pills. Your health is falling apart. So she dragged him into my office. I took a careful history, realized what happened, that he actually was developing side effects of a first pill. 3 next pills were managing side effect of the first pill, and 2 other pills were managing side effects of the second line of medications. So we changed his diet. We gave him acupuncture for knee pain. We gave him a couple of supplements. Some supplements, herbs, were helping him to soothe his stomach. The diet helped him to decrease acidity. We, of course, added minerals that were missing, a lot of magnesium. And gradually, everything got better. He got off of all the pills. And now in his early 80s, he's pretty healthy. He's running again. Now, this should be the gold standard. We should be applying these methods first. If he would have to develop knee pain first and came to see me right away, instead of putting him on Motrin, I would simply give him probably glucosamine chondroitin combination. I probably would have put him on acupuncture. And maybe occasionally for breakthrough pain, I would have suggested some medication, maybe a Tylenol. And that would have avoided all this cascade. Now, Larry was lucky, but there are millions, tens of millions of people who are not lucky. And they end up in this worsening cascade of over-medicalization. I hope to discuss this in detail. I do think it applies to everybody, and I hope that this message will get out there and help people to be healthier. Thanks so much.